What's up? What's up? I'm back. This is the Love Movement Podcast. Let's go. And if you're new here, I am your girl, Sugar Santiago. Welcome to the Love Den. Okay? Nothing but love in here. Love. That's it. You know what I mean? But don't get it twisted. I will talk it. I will pop it. Understand what y'all say out there? I'm popping it. I will pop it. Anyway, I'm just being facetious. So what I'm going to talk about is the art of reinventing yourself at any age. You know what I mean? At any age. So for me right now, I am on a journey of healing, mind, body, and spirit. I have taken some losses in these past 6 years since 2019. Some very, 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 very personal and big losses. If you know me, you know. But I also have been building a brand through this journey. But my ebbs and flows, ups and downs, more downs than ups when it comes to being consistent. So a part of this episode is really near and dear because I am reinventing myself from what I used to be to who I am now and being authentically me with no crowd behind me, no friends, no nothing, me, just me, making it about me. It sounds a little selfish, but hey, sometimes I feel when you're trying to reinvent yourself, you have to do that. You know what I'm saying? No matter your age, your past, your background, no matter what, when you on a journey to reinvent yourself, you need to be focused. You feel me? Without the noise of the world. You need to turn that on. Turn the deaf ears on, respectfully. Sometimes we feel stuck, maybe it's in our job, maybe it's in our health journey, relationship, like those I just named, except for my job, it's I've felt stuck, and I've always been afraid to like say these things out loud. I just always want to appear. And that's just because of the type of circle that I was around. Some people in my circle, they on their thing, they found their journey, and they doing their thing. And the comparison is a killer to you, to your soul. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So me comparing myself to certain people and feeling like I gotta run that race was the killer to who I am as a person. Me, not being who my friends are, not being who people think should be. You know what I'm saying? When you running around a whole circle, their minds is all like, oh no, you should be doing this because we're doing this and it works. And I respect that because it worked for them. You know what I'm saying? What worked for me doesn't mean it's gonna what worked for them doesn't mean it's gonna work for me. You know what I mean? What works for me works for me. You know what I'm saying? It may not work for them. I've always been a artsy type of person thinking outside the box. You know what I mean? And I feel like I trapped myself in thinking I had to live a certain way due to the biggest voice, my mom. She was very, very strict about, having a job, making sure you stay focused. And I respect her and love her for that because that's what mom's supposed to do. She's supposed to want you to take care of yourself, provide for yourself, have health insurance and all of those type of things. So when you get older, you can put yourself and set yourself up for a better life, right? So that's all that is. So reinventing yourself doesn't mean starting over. It means starting to better, better yourself, evolving, not escaping. You know what I'm saying? So for me, my personal thing is it's weight loss. I don't really like to talk about it because I've dealt with it so much, and like mentally, I look for people to be like, oh no, you look good, and try to make me feel better about being overweight and unhealthy, and that was terrible to me, right? So I decided, like, I look at myself and like, yeah, I'm cute, whatever you want to say. I know that, right? I feel confident in that, but I don't like being overweight. It's terrible, right? But I've been the bigger kid and the bigger adult for all my life, right? So, but it's something I want to change because I don't want to be. I want to see something different. I want to change. That's it. No excuses. I don't have to. And I used to always like, oh, I need to do it because of it. No, no, no. So for that is part of one of the things, and what I'm trying to do when it comes to weight loss, and I'm gonna stick to this for a second, is not think about diet. I'm thinking about lifestyle. You know what I mean? The type of lifestyle I want to eat. Live. I said eat because I was about to say anyway. Which is a good segue into my eating habits, right? I stopped eating certain things because I've ate them all my life, right? And I'm just kind of over it. Like, I don't eat soul food no more. Like, you can save your greens and your baked macaroni and your you know what I'm saying, your fried chicken. Like, I still eat fried chicken, but you can save all that other stuff, cornbread, your mashed potatoes, all like, soul food. I just don't eat it no more. And it's nothing, I just don't have a taste for it. Like, even Thanksgiving meals and Christmas meals, I'm good. Like, I'm down. Literally, I eat one plate and I'm not eating no more on Thanksgiving, and that is it. Yams is still my thing. Like, those are bussin'. I like to eat the sweet potato. I get them from the store and get them in the microwave, but I like yams as well. But so that is something that I'm changing in my lifestyle. Is the soul food, the heavy sodium. Also, eating out a lot, and then and not only eating out a lot, is when I do eat out, the type of restaurants that I am picking, right? And none of them are really good, right? We're gonna say that, but for me, it's the chain. And we're gonna speak about. I don't want to talk about those chains, the Arches and the King and all of those. I don't. And the redhead girl. I'm not going to say names on here. But those places, that's over with. I do have my places that I still go to, right? But that's another thing. So on my journey, I'm learning how to cook things that I really like. I went and got an allergy test. I found out I wasn't allergic to seafood, so I've introduced seafood back into my diet, which is great because I love crab and shrimp. I've always have. I grew up on eating it. I'm thinking it was something stress related. I tried to get the doctors to help me with why was I having these reactions to this food, and nobody could really give me a sound answer. And I'm gonna say stress relation to why every time I ate the seafood, sometimes I would break out or I would itch. But now I've been eating it for the past like 3 months, nothing, which is a blessing because like it's limited on the red meat. If I'm gonna eat red meat, I'm gonna eat the best piece of red meat. I limited a lot of pork. I like bacon. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all and be like, oh, I'm so no, I like bacon. So I eat bacon here and there. So it's just certain things, I'm just learning to cook at home. Like my favorite breakfast stuff. Like I like hash browns. So I'm learning to cook hash browns, the way I like it. You know what I mean? I'm not a big egg eater. I don't eat a lot of eggs. So that's good. So when I go out to eat, if I go out for breakfast, it's going to be very light because I don't eat eggs. I'll just eat meat and some fruit or something like that. And which is another thing, like my fruits, I'm thinking, oh, I got to eat all of this type of fruit. No, I'm picking the fruit I like. So what I do is look up how does it affect me if I eat this fruit as far as the sugar intake and this and that? And I know it's natural sugar and your body breaks it down easy, but I still have to be careful with that. You know what I mean? So I look at the type of fruit. I found certain fruits that I like. You know, if I want a mango, because I like mangoes, I can have a mango here and there. I can eat my pineapples, my plums, my apples and stuff like that. I don't really mess with bananas, but sometimes I do, but I can have one here and there. So that's what I've been doing. And I've, you know, with my health, I should be eating like strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries. Not a big fan of the raspberries. I'm not a big fan of strawberries, but I do love blackberries. So I get the blackberries, but I do add some whipped cream, right? Listen, I'm a work in progress. You know what I mean? So that's part of my journey when it comes to my health. Is that I take it serious and find things and find ways to better feed myself and feed my body. You know what I mean? Without all of the nonsense. I noticed that heavy, greasy food, I don't like it anymore. Like, I don't like a whole lot of heavy, greasy stuff. That's it. Like, I prefer to cook my food at home. I don't have salt in my home. I don't have no salt in my home. So I do my best. So that if that helps you, that's just a way in when it comes to my health that I'm reinventing, right? But so the next thing I am working on, I ask myself what isn't working? What's draining me? And so I started looking at that, and that was one of the things. Food, you know, it was very draining. Being just always thinking I'm hungry, and the addiction to the sugars and this and that, you know. And I'm still working on it because it is candy that I love. It's drinks that I love. You know, I'm still working on it, but it's just a journey that I'm on. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? And then when it comes to my spirit, I just want to be honest. My spirit and soul is crushed right now. I'm in tremendous pain. I talked about it already. Like, how I walk around in pain every day, and it's not physical pain, it's emotional pain. And you know, my journey is getting by myself and getting on my knees and praying and keeping my Lord and Savior ahead of my life. That is nothing fancy to that. I can't give you a fancy thing that I'm doing when it comes to that, but that I have to shut out the world to build that relationship, that one-on-one relationship with God. Because again, listening to people and this person doing this, that person doing that. One person say, don't burn sage. One person say, don't mess with the crystal. Don't do, hey, that's it. I got to build a relationship. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know how anything that God created could be negative. You understand? Like, I don't understand that when people tell you not to do certain things or use certain things or burn certain things in your home or whatever it is. And I'm like, well, he created it. So I'm kind of confused. But for me, I had to block out the noise and build a relationship. You know, I hear people no altars and prayer closets, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, but anyway, I don't want to, I'm not being judgmental of them people, respectfully. It's just, I just feel like when someone is on a journey, a spiritual journey, you shouldn't try to direct them. The one thing I could tell people is build your own relationship, because that is what I'm doing. I want to hear the word of God through my ears, not through somebody else's mouth, right? I want to have that alone time, that time where I'm being vulnerable and me to him. Not, oh, well, this person said this person said I need to do this and I need to do that. No, Me being vulnerable one on one with him. And I mean, that's all I got really for that, is because I'm still on that journey. I couldn't say, anything fancy in that, except for it's a journey. And I think when you reinventing yourself, it starts there too, especially with your mind. You gotta get your mind made up that I'm gonna tackle each thing one by one. And that's what I'm doing. I'm tackling each thing one by one, day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, respectfully. I can't tell you what to do and how to do that, because it may not work for you. Again, what works for you works for you. What works for me works for me, and that's why we have to make those moves, to be better. So when it comes to the physical, again, small things. Start walking. Today today after I finish this podcast, I have to go walk. I have to do me something, and I'm going to go walk. I'm going to go walk and reflect, because I have to. I have to do it and do small things. I try to do it and do a whole workout plan. Again, it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. So I have to do what works for me. So I feel like starting small and working my way up and drinking my water. Again, I don't really like water, but I'm learning to fall in love with things that I need to be in love with. And that is water. That is eating better. That is having my own relationship with God. You know what I mean? That's going to make me better. Picturing myself, the version of me that I want, not the version that I think the world wants, the version that I want to see. That's what I'm working on. That's what I'm reinventing for me, is the version I want to see. And I know y'all going to love me, because y'all already love me. Y'all love me now. So it doesn't matter. Y'all just going to love the better version of me. So yeah, that is, and building my brand, same thing. I'm just working on it in small steps, and I make sure that everything that I do, I tag it in there. It's going to be in y'all face. I keep it in y'all face, because it is really important to me, because love has always been the battery for me. A person that really struggled when it comes to receiving love. I know how to give love, but receiving it, I struggle with that. And, but it's a big part of me. I love it. I'm a lover girl. I'm for love. I'm for people who go through stuff and make it through. And now they all in love. And now, life is just great for them, even though they might be dealing with other things. I am that person. Love. I love love. I do. I'm cuddly when it comes to that, and it's just all about me. I just started making small moves, changing my habits, change who I listen to, a lot of that, and just changing my routine, just looking for what works for me in my everyday routine in life. You know what I'm saying? Just reflecting and trying to be excited versus being fearful, because that's one thing about me. Fear, I've always had that in me, that's just honest. It's hard to say. It's hard to admit that I've been fearful of certain things. And instead of me being fearful, I'm trying to be excited. And even my relationship, like I said, with food, with money, with love, with dealing with people. I'm an introvert. I have social anxiety. I have anxiety, period. I deal with that. I'm gonna stop claiming that over my life. But I deal with anxiety, and those things. I'm trying to change the relationship, with those things. You know what I'm saying? I've already my relationship with money. I spoke about this probably in a couple episodes. My relationship with money, money is a tool. You know what I'm saying? Now my relationship with food is you need food to fuel you. You need water to fuel your body. You know what I mean? If you want to feel good, move around and enjoy this beautiful earth and travel, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you want to travel out the country right now. I would stay, but anyway, that's a little joke. But you need fuel. So you need money for the tools, right? Right? And you need fuel so you can spend the money. Do the things you like. Do the things you love, You got people on different sides of the spectrum and in the middle about money. And again, I had to turn that noise off because, you got people who like, oh, you don't need to be super rich and blah, 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 blah. This, man, please. Oh, money don't buy happiness, please. We know money don't buy happiness, but it sure buy a whole lot of other shit. Understand? Like, I get it. Respectfully, say what you want. Say what you want. It's a tool. Change your relationship with money, and you'll obtain it. I feel like that. You know what I mean? But again, what works for me works for me, and it may not work for you. So what triggered, like I said, what triggered me to want to change is I want to just see, a better version of me, and listen, I go through a lot of roadblocks and doubts. Reinventing yourself isn't always smooth. It may be easy for some people. It may be easy, may be hard. So for me right now, just getting out of my old comfort zone and really learning, like, no is one word sentence, really putting myself ahead of me, but not in a selfish way, but in a smart way. I mean, ahead of others, not in a selfish way, but in a smart way, because it's important that I take care of me in order to help other people. If I'm not taken care of, then I'm no good to nobody. So, and I've noticed that I haven't been no good to nobody. Because I'm not good to myself. So, getting out of my old comfort zone, keeping certain people away, just kind of keeping them at bay respectfully, and not worrying about if people are uncomfortable with who I'm becoming. I mean, that's your problem. I don't have nothing to do with that. Like, the new version of me is for me. So, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I've had internal fears, internal doubt. I've had those things that I had to deal with, and I don't want to deal with it no more. So I can't allow people to be around me that don't want to see me grow or be a better version of me. You understand? Like, I just can't have it. I'm this year is the second year of the loss of one of the most important people in my life, and I want to do this in honor of her and myself. And I'm no longer lying to myself or lying to God or trying to manipulate him. Like, that's so ridiculous, And I'm looking out and making sure I'm not doing that to other people, manipulating them or lying to them or gaslighting them. You know what I mean? So anybody who, if I'm in that mode and I find myself being in that mode, or I'm doing something that is like sketchy, and I'm like, whoa, I got to get away from you because you're making me revert back to that, So Um, but yeah, that I just want to become just a better version of me. I really want to live life, and I'm going to. I love myself to life. You understand? Like, um, I don't, you know, I just want to live and enjoy things that I love, that I like, and maybe I can get a companion to come on board with me, and we enjoy life together. But if not, it is what it is. That is one of my biggest things right now. But I'm not focused on that right now. I'm staying single and I'm staying focused on me and putting me ahead in a healthy way, taking care of myself from my head to my feet in a healthy way. My heart, my soul, taking care of myself in a healthy way. So I just came on here to drop this on y'all. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all get something out of it. I always say I hope I can touch that one person. Drop some comments, show some love. Please, I appreciate you. That's my soapbox. I'm stepping down.